After the recent attacks in the Gulf of Oman spread to Israel, the Israeli armed forces began to take precautions. After failing to comply with previous warnings against missile attacks on Israel from Lebanese territory, Lebanon was struck by the Israeli army. The attacks come in response to rockets fired into Israel on Wednesday afternoon, which landed close to Kiryat Shmona in northern Israel. This is the fourth round of IDF attacks against southern Lebanese targets since rockets were fired into Israel on Wednesday. After the Israeli tanks and artillery hit the points where missile attacks were made during the daylight hours of August 4, Israeli fighter jets carried out a heavy attack on Lebanon in the first hours of the night of August 5. We will examine the details of these attacks shortly. IDF attacks will continue and even intensify in the face of terrorist attempts against the State of Israel and its citizens, the statement continued. The State of Lebanon is responsible for what happens in its territory. The IDF warns of continued attempts to harm Israeli citizens and their sovereignty. But the more important question is what Hezbollah, the true ruler in southern Lebanon, knew in advance about the planned launches. Rockets have been fired at Israel from southern Lebanon in the past, too, in the years after the Second Lebanon War, in 2006, though with much less frequency. The accepted argument is that such things do not happen in the area without the agreement, even if it's just a wink, of Hezbollah. Another possibility is that the frequent rocket fire reflects the growing chaos in Lebanon, in light of the deterioration of the economic and political situation there. Second, Wednesday is the first anniversary of huge explosion in the port of Beirut, which killed over 200 people, and Lebanon is still having a hard time recovering from the enormous destruction it caused. The choice of the timing may also be related to the attempt to divert the internal agenda inside Lebanon from what is happening in Beirut to the situation along the southern border. On Wednesday, Defense Minister Benny Gantz accused two senior commanders of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Air Force of direct responsibility for the attack. On Monday, a strange incident occurred near the coast of the United Arab Emirates. A number of ships were delayed in the Gulf after one of them appeared to hit a mine at sea. Later, one of the ships reported that armed Iranians had come aboard and hijacked it. The ship was released on Wednesday morning under circumstances that are not yet completely clear.